I would like to officially welcome to the stage the one, the only, the Attitude Consultants.
AttitudeConsultant.com.
Thanks, guys. Thank you. Pick a mic. This one. Go on. Love it. Testing. Checked 1, 2. Yeah. Okay. Testy. 1, 2.
Testy.
Okay. Yeah. Well, thanks for both of you for hanging around. Good on you guys.
That's it.
Here.
It's personalised. One audience member for you, one for me.
Yeah, that's right. Steve Davis and Chris Warman, ladies and gentlemen. I know their fucking names, for fuck's sake. Thanks, guys. Hey, Nona, before you leave, can we add this to the prize pack? This is my Attitude Consultant cassette tape. Ooh. It's got 90 minutes of my podcast. Yeah, fuck yeah. Love your work, darling. I started as 5 minutes because I couldn't be fucked doing like 2-hour episodes. Like, you just got to keep churning it out.
And how long was your last episode?
My last episode was about 2.5 hours.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, I just sat there all night editing out the ums of the ahs. And I thought, this has just become a fucking job. Do you know what I mean?
I know that feeling, yeah.
Yeah. But this is Matthew Lee, my guest. Give it up for Matthew Lee, everyone, both of you.
Hello, everybody.
Matthew Lee. You were actually my first subscriber.
Was I?
You were. And there was my old man in the audience as well, my old man, the Attitude Consultant's biggest fan. So give it up for me old man over there.
Woo!
It's kind of nice, really, because you guys were there from the start. You were at my first episode. You were my first guest that I interviewed. And now you're my first live guest. So this is the first live show.
I do, and I feel live as well.
Yeah, that's true.
That's good. Helpful, I suppose.
I'm just going to pop these glasses on just to cover up the tears.
I didn't bring glasses. I'll just cry into my drinking.
Just cry into your...
Oh, look, more.
Look at this. I've even got my name on a screen there. That's fantastic. That's great. I've never had that before. And we've got some fantastic sponsors here at the Adelaide Podcast Festival on the studio Zoom. What am I drinking here? Young Henry's Natural Lager.
Yes.
So there we go. I've just picked up my first sponsor.
Really?
Yeah, Centrelink.
Okay.
Yeah, no shit.
I didn't realise they were looking for people to sponsor.
No, not officially sponsor. I just applied for fucking New Start. So,
oh, right.
Yeah, a lot of paperwork.
Yep.
I did get an East grant last year.
Yes,
that
I
gave
remember
me,
hearing about that. Yeah.
9 months of runway just to start my business. It was a small business, and I just had to get off New Start at the time. So I developed a marketing strategy and a business plan and a business model.
How's that going for you?
I just popped out all these cassette tapes. So that's what I was doing for 9 months.
Well, as far as I
Got
know,
funded.
you're the only person producing cassette tapes at the moment, so you've got that market locked down.
Yeah, that's it.
People looking for cassette tapes, 100% uptake, I think.
I think so too.
I haven't done any research, I mean...
Well, who knows? I mean, the internet might go down, and then all these people that are putting all this content, it's fucked.
Yeah.
You know, you can't be too
That's
safe.
what I'm always hoping. Internet goes down. Finally,
goes down.
I make a magazine, everybody. Both of us produce in dying mediums. That's how we work.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping internet will go down, and suddenly, paper's back, everybody.
Yeah.
Paper's back!
Bring back the paper! So 20 fucking years I worked out the other day we've known each other, which means I'm fucking middle-aged.
I'm 37. So,
You're 37.
yeah.
I'm pushing 40, mate. I don't know where the last 20 years went.
Oh,
I still look in the mirror and I still think that I'm 20.
Yeah, I feel like that as well.
You feel like that as
Everybody
well?
feels like that, don't they? Isn't that the famous thing where it's kind of like imposter syndrome, where it's you'll see a lot of webcomics and stuff do a version of this where it's like you'll have a kid, they'll be the kid still, and they'll be holding up a slightly older picture of themselves, and then they'll progressively do that. This kind of idea that everybody's always a child.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Fucking deep, man.
You think it does go around in a circle? Like, we start off as infancy.
Quite possibly. I mean, technically speaking, we are always learning.
Yeah, that's
we're
true.
always trying to learn. We're always doing new things. It's like, you know, you weren't always doing a podcast. So there was a period where you started as an podcast infant, and then you kind of progressed up.
I like this. I like where this is
progressed
going.
up into learning more podcast. Do you think you're a podcast teenager at the moment, maybe? Or?
Yeah, probably. Like,
Okay.
I think I'd be the 14-year-old that just whacked off for the first time.
Right, okay.
Podcast, yeah.
Right. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, probably at that
Bit of the
that
podcast
stage.
in the hand.
Yeah,
all
definitely. Like, it's growing. It's growing a little bit fast. It's a bit awkward.
You hope nobody's watching. And, yeah, okay. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, this is nice. I've never done it to a live audience before, even though it's a couple of you.
Yes.
I'm capturing some external audio at the back there of all those fuckers that are just talking amongst themselves. So don't feel bad about that. I'm just going to cut that in, and I might put a bit of a motivational music over the top.
Solid idea.
Yeah, and some wacky sound effects.
Yep.
You know, that sort of stuff.
Yes, I'm familiar with wacky sound effects, yes. You did say I have been listening to your podcast, so it's like 50% wacky sound effects.
Did you honestly? You've been listening to them all?
Yeah.
Fucking hell, mate.
Since
This
the start,
is my biggest fan here.
Brain damage.
I'd have a bit of content out there now, wouldn't I? At least a day's worth.
Well, I didn't do the maths, so I didn't give you a warning.
Well,
but,
okay.
I mean, you like you were saying, you literally are going from 5 minutes
Yeah.
episodes up to you end up with 10, 21,
Three
and then ends up with half an hour, and then suddenly there's an hour one show.
Yeah,
And then kind of, gradually you're increasing your duration.
Yeah, that's it.
And I don't know what my upper threshold for how much I can take of you is.
Right,
At the moment,
okay.
2 hours.
Yep.
You've done 2 hours and I've been okay.
Do you think this could maybe be a 2-hour episode, maybe? Because we've got 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But maybe we could just start packing up and we can just keep talking.
Just keep going until...
Yeah, Liam and Andy could just start, taking the banners down, and we could just sit up here until we're told to fuck off, basically.
So let's make the barman look very worried when you said that. We could go for 2 hours. Like, fucking no.
Yeah.
Oh, not a chance.
What is on?
I gotta go home and jack off. I've been here all fucking day. Yeah.
Well, have you been watching trashy TV? I've been getting into the I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. I fucking love it.
I watch a...
Liam, mate, I said after the 20 minutes, that's pretty fucking rude, seriously. Oh, he's all right. Just keep going. This is...
It's all right. Everything gets taken down around you.
Yeah. Oh, we got a Sizzletown t-shirt over there. I'm a big fucking Tony Martin fan. Give it up for Sizzletown.
Woo!
Give it up. You actually interviewed Tony Martin recently, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I had a phone conversation with Tony Martin.
Oh, fantastic.
On Australia Day of all days.
On Australia Day?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was for a podcast?
It was because I do some journalistic work.
Oh,
Like
okay.
journalist.
You're a fucking journalist, mate.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
Okay.
It's like self-imposed journalism.
You're a fucking seagull, mate. That's it.
It's close enough. I interviewed him, wrote it up into a piece.
Yeah.
Basically, the idea was that I was going to talk to him for about 50 minutes.
Yeah, that's right.
And then I'll write it up. It'll be a thing. We ended up talking for about an hour and a half. Just like, I got to ask you questions, man.
Yeah.
So on and so forth. But I got in all the important cat questions. His cat is one of the characters in his podcast.
I have listened to Sizzletown, yeah. If you haven't listened to Sizzletown, do check it out. It's hilarious. He translates his cat, doesn't he?
Yeah, they've got a cat translator.
Yeah, that's genius.
Well, I'm surprised he's stuck with the podcast. And
Yeah.
he hasn't just tried to sell the cat translator. Like, surely there's a more of a market for that.
Yeah, let's Shark Tank that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it.
absolutely.
Get the cat translator there and, there's your $1 million. I'm sure that you could get $1 million out of a cat translator.
Oh, definitely.
Sorry, I'm touching your knee there.
No, that's all right, mate. You're just a bit higher.
I'm doing it.
So how did you tee that up? How the fuck did you get onto the Martin?
See,
I'm a fan. Can you sort out an interview for the Attitude Consultant?
I can certainly give it a go.
Give it a go, yeah.
I could also give you some of my patented tips of.
Yeah.
As I was saying, I make a magazine as well.
Yes. Yes.
I do like the production and the writing for that. Other people write as well, but I do.
So
some of the writing.
So tell me more about that. Like, how are you? Like, magazines are a dying medium. There it is.
Bye. See you, Ozcast Network.
You've done a fantastic job with the call flute tonight, I'd have to say, with the
us
signage.
talking about masturbating, but the moment we started talking about magazines, they're like, nah,
Yeah.
out of here.
Yeah, that's right.
Not fucking magazines.
They want to fuck off pretty soon,
Yeah.
so that's all right. So where were we?
I don't know.
I'm always just getting off topic. This is going to be a fucking nightmare to edit. I just wanted to get Andy to Dropbox it to me and I'll post it because I'm fucking tired, Matthew.
Yes, I noticed.
I am. I'm seriously, I'm getting no sleep. My mind is constantly active 24/7 and I'm just exhausted. How the fuck do you make money off this podcast?
Don't ask.
Does anyone know? That's the $1 million question, isn't it? How the fuck do you make money?
Silence. Excellent.
Silence.
Good. Podcast Festival,
Yeah.
first question. How do you make money? No.
Sorry,
idea.
It's a secret,
it's a
is
secret.
it? Oh,
It's not like The Secret, is it?
Yeah, I've watched
You remember
The Secret. Yeah, that's
that
right.
Was from like 20 years ago.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
they say, that's when you put ideas out there and they just
Into
come
the
into
universe,
fruition.
Yeah, you put positive
that's
ideas
it.
into the. I remember my mum gave me the book. The
Yeah,
Secret
laws
or
of
other.
attraction,
Yeah.
I think they call it.
And it was just like I read the first chapter and I'm like, why am I reading this? Like,
Yeah, what a waste of. I'm finding that with a lot of life coaches, they just tell you what you already fucking know. It's like if someone comes up to me for life coaching advice, I say, well, what do you fucking want me to say? Grab a piece of paper, write it down, and read it out to yourself.
and just tell you to do better. Do
Yeah,
that,
that's
but
it.
better.
Yeah, get better at life.
Try more.
Try
or try
more.
less, maybe.
Yeah, I'm
One of those.
really liking this session ale. By the way, it's a good drop. It's a good session. Time for summer.
This announcement brought to you by the Attitude Consultant.
Consultant.
Yeah, maybe we need to do a traffic report as well. I think there was RBTs just on Frome Street out the front of the hospital was there
This
as well.
traffic report brought to you by Attitude Consultant.
Yeah, that's it. So this is just for your sake because I'm not going to publish this for a couple of weeks. So it's going to be fucking no
Right.
good to those that are listening.
So you're not relevant anymore. Traffic report.
That is a human need, is to be relevant, isn't it?
Well, to be acknowledged.
Acknowledged in some sort of way.
Yeah, either like for good or ill normally, because there are people who kind of like they'll do like internet trolls, shall we say?
Yeah, I don't fucking
who are like
get-
doing a negative thing, but they're getting attention or recognition for
Right.
being an awful person. So
Yeah.
that is technically a form of recognition. It's an awful form of recognition,
Well, it is,
but
isn't
it's
it?
still a form of recognition.
Seems very unhealthy,
You know?
but I'm sure that exists. I don't understand that. Tell me more about that.
Oh well, I can try certainly.
Yeah. Do you know anyone like that?
I might not be sitting next to somebody. No.
What a way to fucking find that out.
That's it. This is the whole just doing an entire elaborate, excuse to gradually ease you into the idea that you're an awful person.
Oh, that's all right. No,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Talking about that, that's like
Yeah.
one of those things where a lot of people they react really negatively to the idea that they do have flaws. Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
Yeah.
So like you tell somebody like, okay, maybe you are,
Yeah.
you do have these not issues, but you do have these like character flaws or whatever else. And they become very defensive.
Yep.
When it's to borrow shitty slang, it is a teaching moment. It's kind of like I can learn from this and I can become a better person. But a lot of people just kind of seem to take it personally that somebody has been able to point a flaw out in them, and rather than try and do anything about it.
So do you think that's a response to guilt? I found that with the podcast because I don't actually like to get personal with people, but when I actually start to confront attitudes,
Yes.
sometimes people don't take it well.
No.
And
no.
they start playing the victim or they start just firing it back.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of people it seems to be excuses is one people's reaction for.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, it's like this because of whatever, So no, well, it's just one of those things where it's like you have to. I think as a person, you have to decide whether you can acknowledge that that's something people do and recognise it in yourself and try and not do it.
Yeah.
It's obviously hard, but most of the time anything that's worth doing is not easy. Sorry, everybody. We got all kind of serious there for a minute. Everybody's
put
gone
that-
silent.
No, that's fine. I don't mind that.
Introspective.
Yeah. I don't know where this is going, to be honest. Maybe,
All right, next topic.
Maybe we could do a choose your own adventure kind of thing where these guys decide what we talk about.
I do like the choose your own adventure.
Yeah, it's a good
Do you
model,
notice that
isn't it?
they've taken that because nobody reads books anymore.
No.
And they've taken this idea of choose your own adventures and they've started to turn them into board games.
Oh,
or
really?
Tabletop games, I should say.
Tabletop
And
games.
they're like it's cards and everything else. And
You create tabletop games? Or you
I'm in
play
the
them?
I'm in the process of. I play them. Yes.
Yeah.
I like tabletop games.
Okay.
My-
What's your
my-
favourite game?
At the moment,
Yeah.
there's a game from about 20 years ago, 12 years ago.
I
something
don't
like
know,
that,
mate. You're
called Chaos in the Old World. They only just started learning how to play.
Yeah.
It's based on the Warhammer property, but it's made by it's not made anymore, by a company called Fantasy Flight. And it's really good. It's what we in the trade call asymmetrical. In that
Yes.
normally, like if you play a game like poker or you play
Yeah.
a game like Uno or even Monopoly, everybody starts with the same. They've got a token, they've got the same amount of money, or they've got the same cards, or 5 cards or whatever else. Whereas, just fix my headphones here.
You're right, mate. Yeah.
Whereas in an asymmetrical game, each player has a slightly different thing. So there's 4 players in Chaos in the Old World.
Yep.
You've got a
So
hand
how is
of
that?
cards.
Sorry to cut you off there, but how is that fair? Like you've got more than fucking this person.
Because it's a delicate balancing act that
Yeah.
I will never attempt to do.
Yeah.
In that you have different players have different abilities on cards or whatever else.
okay.
So different players can do different things, but they kind of counter other people's
they can.
things.
Yep,
And
I'm
maybe
with
they're
you.
trying to achieve different stuff in the game. So it's never like there's one. Each player has a different resolution they're trying to get to. There might be the same endpoint, but the way each player gets that endpoint is different.
Just like life, really.
I was waiting for you to say that. I honestly was.
Oh, well, good. Thank fuck I said it. I was going to draw it out a bit longer. Yeah.
So asymmetric.
So you,
Yep.
yeah. Are you working on any games at the moment?
I do have one that I'm working on at the moment that's
Yeah.
more serious because I do actually have a publisher looking at it. It used to be a game about gardening. I know everybody calm down. It's okay.
Yeah, there's nothing bad about gardening, mate.
It
Don't be
used to
ashamed
be
of
about
that.
gardening,
Yes.
but because it's with a publisher now as well, we've introduced this idea of gnomes in it. So
Right.
now it's about building a garden that attracts gnomes.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. Everybody calm down again. It's okay. It's not ready yet. You can't buy it. It's all right. I'll let you know when to get excited. That's
Yeah.
okay.
So you start from a clean slate.
Basically.
So you develop a basic framework or a
So the way
wireframe.
the way I work,
a
everybody-
strategy. Are
Yeah.
you a strategist?
Well, I have basically everybody works a bit differently because
Yeah.
all the different designers have different kind of ideas and how they work.
Yeah.
The way I work is I kind of come up with a basic idea. In the case of it, this was gardening, and then I had this vague idea on a mechanic of okay, how do people get cards of gardens to put out?
Yeah.
And it kind of starts from there. So this game basically started as 40 blank cards that had just the word roses or the word daffodils written on it. And then it was just test out a mechanic with a couple of people.
Yeah.
Kind of see what happens, go away, mess with it a little bit,
Yeah.
like change values and whatever else, come back, try it again. And it's just an iterative process.
So trial and error.
We're basically trying to
Yeah, yeah, okay.
gradually building on a foundation. Now, that's the
Right.
way I do it. There are other people who do it a completely different way.
Yeah.
And they'll just be like, yesterday I had this idea, and they'll show up with like 64 cards that have illustrations, numerous values, they've got boards, they've got whatever else. Those people are fucking insane. I can't do that.
So as an indie game developer,
Yep.
am I able to label you as an indie game
Sure,
developer?
why not?
You're basically overseeing all of these different roles.
Yes.
Do you develop a team, or do you basically come up with your idea and then start assigning different roles?
Well,
or you're more a
begin
person
with-
that just wants to do it all himself?
I do a lot of the development
Yeah.
by myself, but there are a bunch of us that meet up.
Oh, okay.
And then we kind of like test each other's stuff. And
Because that's exactly what it is. It comes down to feedback and testing. That
Yeah.
would probably be the most two important things
Exactly.
in developing.
yeah.
And knowing how to take that feedback.
Yeah, well, that's important, being able to, yes.
Yeah. Do you
Not
think...
just accept it, but be able to process it as well.
Yeah, that's a good point as well. Do you think we're losing that skill to be able to listen to creative feedback?
Some people are, like not just in regards to like working on games and stuff, just like generally in my professional life.
Okay.
In working in an environment that is a creative one that involves ideas and processing them and getting feedback from clients and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Some people just aren't. Again, what we're talking about with like recognizing flaws and kind of like working to change them. Feedback's sort of like that as well, in that kind of like listening to what people have to say
Yeah.
and figuring out when it's applicable, how it's applicable. Like feedback's not always
That's a
applicable.
good point. That's a good point.
It's
Like
that
it's
thing where everybody, like they say, everybody has an opinion, but
Yeah.
it doesn't necessarily that you have to listen to everybody's opinion.
That's
or,
true.
Or take it on board. You
Yeah.
know, it's you got to try and pass it and you know make sense. And figure out if
navigate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See if it applies to your situation and that kind of thing. And
Well, that's great. Are you at the point now where you're creative?
yeah,
You-
I think so.
Everything.
I
you,
hope
no,
so.
No, sorry, I'm wording this differently. I just want to point out, I cut most of this shit out. In real life, I can't fucking do that. If I say dumb shit, then it's out there and that's it. Whereas Now it's just chop, chop, chop. So
This conversation as well? Or
Yeah,
you'll leave
I'm-
this conversation in about cutting conversations out?
I'm finding I'm doing that too. Yeah, once the stuff that I say that I'm going to cut out, I end up just leaving in because it's interesting. So,
And then you cut out all the stuff that
Yeah.
you say you're going to keep?
I cut out the stuff that I'm going to keep. So most of my latest episodes are just
All the offcuts?
1.5 hours of sound check.
So you record an episode,
Yeah.
and then you release not the episode.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, good. Good
Yeah,
plan.
the actual episode, I just store it, and then maybe people that would bother to be
Put it
Patreon
like a-
members can get access to it. Maybe that's one way of making money, I guess.
Or you could put it into
Yeah.
what are those things? A time capsule.
Yeah, that's
Put
it.
it all into a time capsule and bury it somewhere.
On
And then
3.5
somebody-
inch floppy disk.
Yeah, and then somewhere in the future, somebody
Yeah.
will dig it up. And I'll go, what the fuck is this? What is this guy on about?
I'm really liking where this is going.
Good.
Yeah.
Somebody is.
Yeah. Oh man, this is.
Drinks break.
Thank you so much for hanging around. This is good. I was on last year and it was a fucking disaster. So I didn't end up publishing it. So
Oh, boo. Or, okay, that was bad on purpose. It was so good that you couldn't publish it.
well,
That
that's
happened.
it.
Yeah.
It always happens.
You know,
Yeah.
take into account the pattern we just established.
It was too funny.
Yeah,
was
that's
too-
it.
Yeah, that's
it was
the problem.
too good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Into the time capsule it goes.
So maybe I could hand out feedback forms.
Yeah,
After this
that'll
one.
work.
So yeah.
Did you put any together or?
No,
Or just
no,
turn
no.
these over. You can start writing on the back.
Yeah, maybe just
There we go.
right on
They
here.
probably
but-
don't need these anymore, surely.
No, it'll save the paper.
Yeah, that's it. It's recycling.
Yeah.
It's recycling and feedback.
Yeah.
Good. We're grinding to a halt, aren't we?
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. I'm really enjoying this. This is good. This is good content.
That's all right. You read that. I'll just.
Hang on. That's the spot right there. I've been talking out here.
You're right.
Yeah, there. Right. It's right in the middle, isn't it, Liam? Yeah. So when I'm doing that, see, you can't hear.
No, but you can smell it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's the spot right there. That's good.
All right, good. Now we've established that after, 20 minutes?
Time
Yeah,
is
there
it?
you go. Yeah, see?
All right. So, Matthew, thank you so much for actually listening to my podcast.
That's fine.
We talked a lot about podcasting for me at the start was
Yes.
hollering into the void.
Yeah,
It was
I
just
remember that, yeah.
Yeah, remember that time?
I do remember that time.
It's like no one was listening and no one gave a fuck. And it was kind of nice to accept that.
Yep.
No one's listening and no one gives a fuck. So just keep creating content.
That's one way of looking at it,
And
yeah.
coming from the stand-up background, it was I'd write stuff, I would edit it, I would rehearse it, I would make sure that I'd know at every moment that the audience were responding, when they were
Wait,
laughing.
You wrote and rehearsed stuff.
Hey, I actually did that.
Okay.
I had that discipline.
Everything I've seen of yours didn't prove that.
Well, that's right. What was it? Last time I think I was dressed up as a cat meowing
Yes.
memory.
Cat opera.
Yeah, cat opera. Yeah, that was a good set. Just dressed up in a cat outfit. Meow, 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 meow.
That was, what was his name? David?
David Lieberhart.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That was strange.
Yeah. So it's a matter of finding that balance of having discipline, writing and rehearsing, and listening to your feedback. But at the same time, when you're too focused on that, when you're too focused on the likes, you're missing out on creating
Yep.
because you're too busy listening. And it's that balance.
Yes, I can see how that would be challenging.
Yeah, it's really challenging.
How's it going?
Oh, it's going okay, I guess. Yeah. But like I said, if anyone's got any ideas on how I can make money doing this shit, just let me know. And I just want to thank you for hanging around and listening. Appreciate it a lot. Before I end it, is there
Yep.
anything you want to plug? What's
I-
happening in your life at the moment? Anything you want to get off your chest, maybe? Like just throw it out there now and then we'll...
Well,
We'll piss off. I'll turn the mics off.
I have an album coming out soon.
Yeah?
I do occasionally
Yeah.
work on music. It's for a band called Mr. B and Mr. C. We have an album called Trans Global coming out soon. it's about human emotions, but in a way that includes lots of fucks and shits and stuff. So, as songs should be.
Yeah.
And also, most songs only go for about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes, because we can't be bothered writing anything longer. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
That's
I
it.
like that format.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's,
fantastic.
who can be
Mr.
bothered
B
writing-
and Mr. C, what does
Yes.
that stand for?
Okay, here's another whole story. So, the two of us.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm Mr. B, who years ago I recorded under the name Sausage Boy, which I believe I talked about in a previous episode.
Yeah,
So go
please
back to
share
another
us.
episode
We want to hear this sausage.
and
We want to
that
hear the
story.
Sausage Boy story.
Yeah, go back and listen to that. It's about homoeroticism.
No, I want you to tell this story
Oh, you
right
want me to
now.
tell it now. Okay, I'll do the quick version. So
Okay,
basically,
yeah.
I came up with a stage name because I was young and I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
And also being young, I didn't do any research, so I came up to Sausage Boy because it sounds funny. Sausage Boy just sounds funny. This was in the MySpace days, everybody, and I registered it on not registered it, but I made a MySpace page for this Sausage Boy band. And then within a couple of days, I got a lot of homoerotic kind of people signing up and friending me and everything. And I was very naive. This was years ago. I was very naive. And I was like, well, I don't understand what's going on. And then I found it's kind of like, a bear. So like a bear is a big, hairy, homosexual man. Well, a sausage was kind of like the opposite end of the spectrum of that.
Like a twink.
Yeah,
Yeah.
essentially.
Okay. Right.
So there we go. Now, I could have just ditched the name and started again.
You ran with it, didn't
But
you?
I just ran with it.
Yeah.
So still, technically speaking, you can find Sausage Boy stuff around the place. Just be careful when you search it.
Yeah. Hey, be proud, mate. Be proud. That's what I'm going to say.
So Mr. B,
Yeah.
for this project, we decided, well, if I'm Sausage Boy, obviously it would be Mr. B would be the kind of the shorthand of that. And then my compatriot, the other guy in this band, is known as Johnny Cashpoint, which a cash point is a cash machine in the UK. He's from the UK, so he was Mr. C. And, his is far less interesting than mine. Than mine is.
Nice.
So there we go. So that's why we're called Mr. B and Mr. C. It's,
Fantastic. So that's the new album. When's that coming out?
as soon as Mr. C finishes mixing it. So at the moment he's in holiday in France, so whenever he comes back from that.
Lucky bastard. Nice. Well, thanks for sticking around to this endpoint. I've been the Attitude Consultant. One more time for Matthew Lee.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's all for us. Good night.
Good night, Adelaide.
Go.
Attitude Consultant is produced by Ryan Harry and distributed by the Ozcast Network.